Judging by the currency market charts, it seems that yesterday the Federal Reserve cut the key interest rate. However, it's not true, though it's not far from the real state of affairs. Firstly, the Federal Reserve downgraded its inflation outlook for 2024 and raised the GDP outlook. Secondly, Jerome Powell said that the FOMC members were discussing the issue of rate cuts timing, although the regulator did not provide any precise information. Analysts have come to the conclusion that the Fed will not raise the key rate anymore, whereas the first cut will take place at the beginning of the next year, and this was enough to cause a tumble in the US dollar. However, today the situation could be the opposite. The fact is that the Bank of England and the European Central Bank will hold their meetings. The results are likely to be the same as the United States, with the exception of the outlook for inflation and economic growth. The Eurozone has almost slid into recession, and in Germany the process has already begun. In Europe, inflation is weakening quite rapidly, while in the whole euro area it was approached the targeted level of 2%. Even if the Federal Reserve is the first to start lowering the benchmark rate, it will still be higher than in Europe. While the UK regulator will just announce its intention to switch to monetary policy loosening next year, the European Central Bank will disclose its plan for the key interest rate in the first quarter of 2024. The main result will be the price returning to the levels recorded before the FOMC meeting. After that, the US dollar may start rising gradually. The scenario will become true unless the ECB takes a more hawkish stance or does not drop a hint about the necessity of choosing a loose approach. However, the likelihood of such an outcome is very low. On the trading chart, we see that the euro increased against the US dollar by 1%, thus boosting the volume of long positions. As a result, the quote jumped above 1.09, which points to recovery after a correctional cycle. If the price consolidates above 1.09, it may climb to 1.10. At the same time, the growth pace may slacken because of the overbought signal in the short-term periods. Meanwhile, the pound sterling started actively gaining in value amid the greenback's sell-off. The volume of long positions is rising near the support level of 1.25. If the price climbs higher, it may approach the resistance level of 1.27, as we noticed when preparing the review. Notably sharp price changes in the short-term time frames may result in overbought conditions. And that's all for now. We continue to follow developments on the financial markets. Subscribe to the channel and follow news with us, and see you soon.